same. Yeah, God consists. Sometimes God. So it's a taqwa. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, which is taqwa, Taqwa. Yeah, that's an Arabic word for that, which means you can define taqwa as being righteous or righteousness, piety, God mindfulness, reference, devotion, sometimes fearing God. That's also God fearing. That's another translation of taqwa. In other words, all these meanings are the purpose of fasting. So it's not for the sake that you suffer. Like you. What is fasting in this case? During the month of Ramadan, basically they don't eat, they don't drink, they don't have sex if they are couples. If from dawn to sunset. And what is from dawn to sunset? When? It's during the month of Ramadan. Okay, month of Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan. That's the lunar system. Okay, and this Ramadan could be 29 days, 50 days, yeah, around that time. But a day it lasts different from time to time. In America it's different. In Egypt it's different. In Iran, in Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, China, they have a different. And in Germany, for example, it could last for, well, when I say forever, it's very long. Like, you start at 3 a.m. Until what? Until 12 a.m., like midnight. In Germany, just an example. So they only have like 2 hours to eat, and then they have to start again. That's possible. But you also have some places or some times during the year where you only fast, for example, from 8 p.m. because that's the sun down, 8 p.m. until 4 p.m. Yeah. So in only like four maybe only 8 hours. Right? Not only, but still, it's shorter than some Muslim in Germany, just for example. So it really depends. Yeah. And throughout the year it changes. Yeah, we are not using the Gregorian. Yeah, it's a lunar system. Yeah. So anyway, the fasting during Ramadan, but the idea of piety is there. However, you see the next one. Can you read the next one? The next verse, 184. Anybody would like to read 184? Yeah, go ahead, Maya. 184. Okay.
Okay. For days numbered, but if any one of you be ill or on a journey, it is a number of other days, and for those who can bear it, the ransom of feeding an indigent person. Whosoever volunteers good, that is better for him, and to fast is better for you, if you but you.
Thank you. You want to say something about it, maybe? What do you think? What do you think about this? Anything that comes to your mind when you read it?
Well, as mentioned, it's for those who want to fast,
Okay.
to show respect. But I think here they're saying if you're ill or on a journey and you're not able to fast, it's fine. Those who are able to can bear it. Whoever volunteers good, that's better for him. So it's just like showing encouragement and also like respect to those who can and those who can't.
Yeah. Encouragement and respect. Good. And you want to say something or maybe question about that? Maybe questions? Anyone? Good. Yeah. Yeah.
In a year.
Say it again.
How many days in a year you need?
How many days in a year? So only 1 month for the obligation one. Yeah, it's like obligatory fasting is once a year. Okay, once a year, only 1 month. And then I said during the month of Ramadan, and Ramadan, you can have 29 days or 30 days. Yeah. Is it 28 days sometimes? I think 29, 29, 30 days. So that's once a year. It's coming up actually is it next week? It's on the 19th or 20th of February. So you might find some, or you might come across some Muslim who are fasting. Yeah? 18, yeah, something like 18, 19 of February this year. Last year it was, I believe, March. Yeah? So it depends. So here in the California, I remember I was in the summertime. It becomes earlier and earlier. Now it's February, and then maybe next year will be in January, because it's lunar system. Yeah, Okay, it's a lunar system. It's not a solar system. Okay. What else? If you have any question about fasting, I know there are some more here, but I just want to give you a sense how the Quran discuss fasting. Okay, and there are some regulations, some of the very detailed things, but I think it's enough for our purpose of our course is about reading the Quran. So we don't go into details about so many details about this. Okay, but if you do have questions, just ask. Okay, and I'll be happy to entertain you. All right. Let's move to the pilgrimage. Okay, so fasting is in the Quran, and during the month of Ramadan once a year, right? The purpose is righteousness, God mindfulness, right? Piety, but the pilgrimage. Who want to say something about pilgrimage? What have you known about pilgrimage or Hajj in Arabic? Anybody? Maybe? Yeah, go ahead.
It's something that if you can do it, you should, but if you can't, if you don't have the means to do it, then it's not really like looked down upon or anything.
So somebody who can afford it. Why afford it? Physically, there is physical duty, yeah, but also in terms of wealth. You have to have some portion of your money or funds so that you can pay. If you are from around the world, then you have to pay the flight or ships. Yeah, or camels if you have to just walk through the city of Mecca. Okay, so when you have physical means, you have wealth, and also there's another thing is mental health. Mental health. You also have. So if you cannot do it, then that's fine. It's not it's an obligation for those who can afford it. Most Muslims around the world, from the time until today, I don't think they all go for pilgrimage. Yeah, but many they go. So what is the pilgrimage? It's considered an obligation for those who can afford. It's a commemoration of the story of Abraham. Yeah, that's the meaning of it. Commemoration of Abraham and his family, and especially the Kaaba, the cube. Yeah, as the center of the prayer and the center of Muslims' unity around the world, and it's considered built by Adam first, and then Abraham and his son, and then Muhammad, renew it, and also of course the Saudi government tried to make it more fancier and so on and so forth. So you have all the history of the Kaaba itself. Okay, but the Quran does talk about this is considered as awwala bayt yudi'a lin-nas. So in other words, the first house that ever built on earth. According to the Quran, first house ever built on earth. Of course, it's not that necessarily like, but this is sacred building, yeah, a sacred house. Of course, houses maybe the other houses that are ever built, but when we talk about bayt house, it's more like a sacred. And then mubaraka, bless, yeah, it's a blessed space, this blessed building, blessed house, وَهُدَى لِلْعَالَمِينَ, and then also guidance for the whole world. So that's the verse. But of course, you have different verses that you can read about pilgrimage. Once in a lifetime, yeah, once in a lifetime. Yeah, if they can afford, once in a lifetime. Even though some Muslims, they can afford it, they can do twice, and some they actually perform 3 times, and so on and so forth. But the obligation for it is only once. And Muhammad himself is only once. That's before, 2 years before he passed away. So he's the only pilgrimage that Muhammad did. And then he didn't come again because he already passed after that. But it was not until late in Medina that you had this obligation, yeah, of pilgrimage. Again, to commemorate. Yeah. Remember we talked about the Quran as a confirmation of the previous revelations. The Hajj represents this confirmation of Jesus, Moses, yeah, especially the revelation that they also received and to the previous prophets of God according to the Quran. Okay, so that's about what we call 5 pillars and stuff. Again, proclamation of faith, prayer, yeah, giving alms or almsgiving, fasting, and pilgrimage. Those are in the Quran, but not too details in terms of the procedure. Yeah, not too details in terms of the guidance how to do this pilgrimage and so on. The ritual significance. You do have some references in the Quran about about tawaf, about sa'i, but I don't want to go into details about this. Yeah, but if you have questions about the pilgrimage, you can ask. Any question about the ritual, maybe? Yeah. Usually 2 million around one time. 2 million Muslims, 2 millions and more from everywhere around the world, they would gather in Mecca. Yeah, about 2 millions. Yeah.
So it has to be done during the Ramadan or
No,
any time
for
of
the pilgrimage, it's in a Zulhijjah, it's another month. Yeah, don't worry about the name. This is around 1 month or something after Ramadan. So you don't have 1 or 2 months after Ramadan. It's a Zulhijjah. So you only have few days, and then it has to be in those days. Yeah. So it cannot be any day during the year. So pilgrimage only takes place in one time. That's why they gather in the same time and same place. There are a lesser pilgrimage called Umrah, which you can do any time during the year. So you do have other lesser pilgrimage. It's called lesser pilgrimage. So meaning that you can do and visit the Mecca and Medina also during any time of the year. Okay, but it's not considered pilgrimage. It's not considered Hajj. So you have Hajj, you have Umrah. Don't worry about the Arabic terms, okay? Hajj is a pilgrimage, only certain time of Zulhijjah. I have the note there. But then the Umrah, the lesser pilgrimage, you can do it any time during the year.
even like you get the credit or
A very good question. Either you get the credit, the obligation was a pilgrimage. The Umrah one, you still get the credit, but not to the extent that you will do for the pilgrimage one. So they still do it, and it's less time, shorter time, and there's, they don't have to stay in the Arafah, the plain. So the core of the pilgrimage is that they stay on the plains, which is staying vigil, saying vigil in the plain of Arafah. Yeah. That's right. It's tawaf.